Hi, it's time for another verb of the day. Today's verb is astonish, and this verb was suggested by the viewer Abdi. Abdi, thank you so much for this suggestion. Now let's take a moment and review the way that we can use this verb. The verb astonish really just has one meaning, and that is to surprise or impress someone greatly. Some might say this word can be used to really stress that surprise. It has a very positive meaning to it. And usually there's a kind of a pleasant sort of tone to this. I'm like, just something that is really surprising and or impressive. For now, you should know that astonish is a regular verb. If you want to make the progressive form of this verb, all you need to do is add ing, and that forms astonishing. The past tense and the participle form of our verb can be made by adding ed. Now the base verb, astonish, ends with this unvoiced sh or sh sound. This means when you add the ed ending, you're going to make a t sound. And you're not going to add an extra syllable to the verb when you say it. The past tense and the participle form of the verb should sound like this. Astonished, astonished. Okay. Now, we don't have any additional phrasal verbs or meanings that we need to study, so we can move on and do a little verb tense practice. Today, we're going to review the present perfect progressive and the simple future. Let's start with the present perfect progressive. Some teachers and textbooks will call this the present perfect continuous, and that is just fine. It means exactly the same thing. Here, we're talking about an action that started in the past, continues into the present, and may even continue into the future. Generally, we're focused on how long this particular action has been ongoing or how long it has been continuing. The reason I like saying present perfect progressive with my students is that the 3 P's can help you remember that you will need 3 parts to make your verb. And this is a verb tense where we need to pay attention to our subject. And that's because the first part of our verb will be the present form of have. So, if your subject is I, you, we, or they, we'll use have. But if your subject is he, she, or it, then we'll use has. Okay? The second part of our verb is going to be the participle been, B-E-E-N. And then the third part of our verb will be that verb with an ing ending. Let's take a look at an example sentence. The size of the fires has been astonishing both firefighters and government leaders. So here we can see those 3 parts to our verb. And here, maybe we're talking about just kind of how surprising it is that the area that continues to burn is really sort of catching people off guard. It is here. I doubt we would use impressive, right? Because this has kind of a negative meaning to it, right? A fire is likely destroying homes, nature, maybe other important areas, could be threatening wildlife, could be threatening humans' lives. But again, it's still that idea that, wow, this is big and surprising. Now, if you want to make a negative present perfect progressive sentence, again, pay attention to your subject because you'll use either have or has, followed by not, then the participle been, and then the ing form the verb. Here's another example sentence. His words and actions haven't been astonishing his critics. So here, we're suggesting that something isn't surprising. Finally, if you want to make a yes or no question in the present perfect progressive, start with either have or has, Whatever form the verb matches the subject, and that subject comes next, then use the participle been and the ing form the verb. Here's another example. Have the outcomes of this cancer treatment been astonishing doctors and researchers? So again, this may have that really positive, impressing. Is it surprising them, maybe how good the outcomes are? Now let's move on and make some sentences in the simple future. Today we're going to make sentences with will. Will is most commonly used as people make promises and predictions, but they'll also use it to make offers, and occasionally we'll see it as people discuss their plans. The nice thing about making sentences in the simple future with will is that our structure stays the same no matter what our subject is. So in the affirmative or in a positive sentence, we'll start with our subject, we'll use will, and then the base verb. No special endings, no suffixes on the end of the verb here. Here's an example sentence. This dish's unique flavor will astonish you, right? So here, this maybe is a bit of a prediction or a promise, right? That you're going to be surprised by how good something tastes. If you want to make a negative simple future sentence, again, start with your subject, use will not, and then the base verb. Remember, the contraction for will not is won't, W-O-N apostrophe T. We pronounce that word with a long O sound. Here's another example. It won't astonish me if you binge this series. Okay? This might be getting into a little bit of a prediction, or someone thinks maybe a particular TV show, maybe something that's on a streaming platform is so good you're going to want to watch one episode after another, and so forth. Finally, let's talk about making a yes or no question in the simple future. To do this, start with will, then you'll have your subject, and then the base verb. You can see that in the example. Will this park astonish my family? Right? So maybe someone is looking for kind of a surprising getaway or vacation, and they want something that's going to be maybe unique and so special that it surprises and greatly impresses their family members. Now, let's move on and talk about some words that are related to our verb astonish. And the first word we'll discuss is the noun form of this word. The noun is astonishment. This generally is describing something that kind of fills you with that great surprise, or a great surprise might be a better way to say that. So an example of this could be, she looked at all the guests in astonishment, right? So maybe a lot of close friends have gathered to celebrate someone, right? Maybe this person can't believe they're all gathered in this one place at this one time for him or herself, right? And so you can kind of imagine that sort of feeling. Another related word is the adjective astonished. Okay? Now this would of course mean or describe someone or something that is greatly surprised, amazed, or impressed. Sometimes adjectives that end in ed and ing can be a little confusing. That ed ending is we're going to describe the person or the thing that has the feeling. Okay? You can see that in the example here. Astonished onlookers watched the trapeze artists. So those are people kind of swinging from the sky, and some maybe doing tricks, flips, grabbing one bar, flipping to another, catching someone. And so the people watching it have this, oh, wow, I can't believe what I'm seeing. This sort of surprised, amazed, or impressed feelings. And this contrasts with the adjective astonishing. Now we are describing the person or the thing that is causing those feelings. So we're describing something that is greatly surprising, something that is amazing, or something that is impressive. An example of this might be, The scientists' astonishing new findings were just published this week. So maybe the results of their experiments are causing this unbelievable or amazing sort of feeling. One last word for us today. It's the adverb astonishingly. Here we're describing something done in a greatly surprising or impressive way. An example of this. That was an astonishingly stupid thing to say. So this might seem like a rather harsh comment, but really what someone's saying is, I cannot believe kind of how silly you were to say this particular thing. Thanks again to Abdi for suggesting today's verb. I thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.